We are live. Welcome, everyone, to Bardic Inspiration. This is Dungeons and Dragons and Shakespearean Style, and with me tonight are the Headless Marys. I am Adam Himbry. I'll be your dungeon master. Last week, you might have seen the Magical Cane Band. This week, we are a month ahead in time and way down south at the shores of the nation of Eston, where the Headless Marys have traveled after getting up to some Fey-touched hijinks in Lake Lewin and Orst, and then taking the Lewin River all the way down to the sea, where they have rescued Veila of Donvale and instated her to her rightful place as the new Thane of Donvale Manor. However, it has not all been smooth sailing for the new Thane to be. Things are still very much up in the air, which is what our party has been dealing with for the last session or two. So, as per tradition, I'm going to turn it over to the cast to recap our most recent session. Mel, are you on timer duty?
I am. We
Very well then.
45 minutes?
Mm-hmm. I'll just leave.
All right, timer starts now.
Go.
Bertram died a gruesome death.
Yeah, and nobody was sad about it.
As always, not correct.
One day it'll be correct.
We slept in our own rooms. We were fancy or nice places to sleep for the first time in a while.
Yeah, not in a ship, yeah. Sure.
Then we split the party.
Oh dear.
Right.
Some of us went on a recruitment drive, got out our little table with a bowl of mints and took some names and managed to get 50 or so people to come and join
Mints?
Yeah, mints. Raw mints. Yeah.
All of mints. Padrick stayed back and helped Barwin talk to the dead. Yeah, got some important information there. And then we made some potions. We did a little craft afternoon the rest of the day.
That's it. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
Rav found a new love interest. His name is Bradley. He's big, dumb, and handsome.
Buckle.
What's that?
Rav is writing and casting a play, currently.
Oh, yeah. Buried the lead. There's going to be a play, and someone was dumb enough to put Rav in charge of it.
We all leveled up.
Yeah, that was after the Bertram kill.
Yeah, we got experience killing better.
Yeah, so I guess now we're just trying to work out what happens when Edwin... Is it Edwin or Edward?
Edgar.
Yeah, Eddie. When Eddie rocks up, what we're going to do, and we're going to put on a play that will make him feel such incredible feelings that he will relinquish his ambition and hie himself to the nunnery.
Honestly, that's the power of art, you know?
Yeah. I can't count how many times I've considered nunhood after I've seen a play.
I've made plays where afterwards I felt guilty, like really.
Yeah.
I'm the one of us who went to Catholic school. That's 2 minutes. Bertram, not dead.
Yeah.
Very much alive.
Yeah.
Those of you keeping track who are worried,
This is what the people want, Adam. This is what the people like. We did a poll. Like every week.
Just what did Bertram ever do to any of you?
And he's kind of powerful. We want to keep him around.
Changing sides.
I've always been pro Birdie.
He's the worst.
A house divided then on the subject of Bertram. As indicated, you went on a recruitment drive, and when we left off, you had just gotten home. It is the evening of the 22nd of Peas Blossom, if memory serves. The manor house is hopping, full of people.
The house is hopping.
It is. Oh my god. There are people all over the place. Dozens of people have arrived thanks to your reasonable success in recruiting people to become soldiers. Now, most of the people who have arrived thus far are people who were recruits. If you're looking around, you can see Myra has taken up a sort of command center near the front lawns on the left side, has a table set up, and people are coming by, basically taking their standard issue gear and supplies, as a few servants are there with them, and Bertram is overseeing some folks who are making runs to and from the armory as he looks at things that need modification and takes notes, tells people to come and see him at different times tomorrow when things are set up. A few of the other servants are hastily getting the barracks prepared, as they have been left in a sort of state of disarray. It is a hub of activity at Donvale Manor, and something that you haven't seen yet, but is now very much a thing, is that Veila is being a very visible presence. She is moving in and amongst the people, asking them questions, speaking to them, and there is a kind of a sort of halo of space around her. She, for those of you who've been away all day, I think you would notice this is a real difference. She seems full of fire. Her voice is carrying. She's learning people's names and greeting them. And you can see the way wherever she goes, she's leaving a kind of trail in her wake of people who are sort of whispering and nudging each other and things like that. But Headless Marys, you have arrived with a head full of steam and a purpose, a number of you. So, those of you who are just coming back in from the sort of carriage, which is Buckle and Rav with Bradley in tow, and Caliban and Avery, and what are y'all getting up to?
I'll go up to Myra, and I'll say, "Milady, please take everyone who you need, and I will take the rest to serve as guards. Where would I stand as I do that?"
Captain Buckle, as captain of the guard, it is no doubt your prerogative as to where you'd like, but I can recommend that perhaps you make an appearance at the barracks and greet your new recruits, unless of course you'd like to it does seem like the majority of them are still here. Perhaps you can gather them somewhere here just on the lawns and have it speak in the last of the daylight. What would you prefer?
Perhaps I shall have a word with the throng.
Very good. So I think you should find the majority of them are organized over there. You'll see that some of the more experienced lot are helping the fresher recruits do up their armor and trying to keep them from cutting their own hands off with those short swords. I'll send whoever else there is along your way, but I think if you go over that direction, you'll draw enough attention.
I agree, and I put my visor down, and I head off in that direction.
Okay. Buckle is heading over there to address the new guards. Caliban and Rav, what are you two getting up to now that you have gotten back?
Not a lot. I'm gonna just go and have something to eat.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's about it.
Well,
actually, is there a library in this manor?
There is.
Yeah,
would you like to
check that out?
Sure thing. Are you looking for anything in particular at this library?
Yeah, I'm looking for family history type stuff of like the area.
Sure.
Anything if there's anything that's being written about the area, and failing that stuff about Moonfang. There's any dragon stuff too.
Great. Okay, make an investigation check for me.
Cool. Rolly. Oh man.
Let's see if we can get a roll over 10 this game.
Oh, it was really was a plague last time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
15. Okay. we will leave Caliban to that search for a while, because I imagine this is going to occupy Caliban's time. So that's what Caliban's getting up to. What's Rav and Bradley? What are Rav and Bradley doing?
Rav is giving Bradley a tour.
Mm-hmm.
I
Showing
was
him
so
her-
nervous before you said tour.
Yeah.
of his body.
You, John Mayer.
Rav is like, and here's where I once stabbed myself. And over here-
Yourself?
Was an accident of a sexual nature. I shall tell thee more of it later, for it's not fit for mixed company.
Very well. I look forward to knowing more about that.
Well, Bradley, what say ye of the manor? Dost thou find it to thy liking?
Oh, 'tis sure enough a mighty fine place. I've never been in a place such grandness to it.
Aye. Thou dost compliment it prettily.
Oh, well then, it is so grand, I'm sure, so that it can house your fine self, being as your own grandness doth require a place of ample stature to contain it.
Why, Bradley?
I'm sure those great portraits on the wall are only there so as they can reflect the beauty of your own face. Because it shouldn't want for company.
That'll do, Bradley.
Oh, good.
Though it be indeed a fine manor, I must say that I like thy manners best of all.
Oh. What's the rule for when you compliment me?
There is none. Come along.
All right then. Barwin and Podrick, you have finished recently your very successful run of potion crafting, and none too soon, because the kitchen staff are very helter-skelter about the place and desperate to get some of those burner areas back. They're very excited to do so. So you now have your, I believe it's 7 doses of the Bard's Voice potions available to you. Where are you wandering to?
Kitchen stuff, fret not. Fret not. I do apologize that I did take up space, but these hands not only be good for making potions, I do like to flambe. I also like to bake Danish tarts. Shall I assist thee? Both of us can. Barwin?
Oh, I actually have
a
a
fantastic ratatouille.
What are these dishes that you're speaking of? We're just
Humble friends, sit, please. Let Barwin and I take over.
Yeah,
we're just
And let us make the feast for all.
No,
What? No, here be a quill, here be some parchment, and we shall give thee a master class in cookery. Barwin, man the pots.
What is that?
I shall be on mise en place.
You can see that the folks who are working are just like befuddled, like they are deferring to your status at the place. So they know you've been given free run, but like extremely unsure of how to handle this. Is it? Do you need someone else chopping onions? What is it?
Of course, for learning, be much more effective with hands-on. Here, take a knife, and I shall teach thee how to julienne. Matchsticks. Matchsticks is what. We have matchsticks.
What sorts of sticks do they match?
Very thin ones.
Slice thin, then. Very thin slices.
Slice thin in almost like twigs. Here, this basket of carrots shall all be julienned.
Right then.
Literally.
Chop. We'll do it then. We'll be chopping. Master Podrick will see. Chef Podrick will see to whatever it is that. Right then, and they get to it. They're chopping a lot of carrots really thinly. That's their life for however long that basket lasts. Arwen, are you participating in this?
Yeah, she's just gonna keep staring at the pots and trying. She's gonna keep looking to people, and if they're gonna come and take it from her, she'll give it to them. But if they give us
Padric goes over to Barwin and looks at the pot and goes, Barwin, truly this has potential, but it misses love. Aye, and I know thou has much love to give. Perhaps thou shalt put some love in the pot.
Padric, it's just that I don't know what's in the pot already.
It doesn't matter, as long as it has love.
But how does one put love into a pot?
You will know.
Rav knows how.
You will know, and we will taste.
So, perhaps then.
Sold is the answer.
I feel like around now, Rav might have made his way to the kitchen on his tour.
Yep. So you sold and smells good back here. It does.
Aye, indeed, I assume, being a fine establishment, they have the most experienced of cook. Padric?
And this is called the Holy Trinity. Tis garlic, onion, and celery. Chop, 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 chop it, chop, 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 chop.
Welcome, Ravelor. Would I like to taste some of this? I think it's you.
Sure, Barwin, I should gladly partake of it. And this here is Bradley, my new love thing.
Oh.
Wait.
What did you think was happening there? Because I thought something different was happening there. Oh, that's a screenshot for this episode, 100%.
Adam just yes-anded that.
I went
I just
for
want
it.
you all to know, in canon now, is Rav goes to take a sip and Bradley tongues it.
Yep. No, that's what happens. So the spoon is in between the middle, and he goes for it, you go for it, and both of you, like Lady and the Trampet, in a weird, like, tooth to spoon to lip combination.
Amazing.
This is so weird.
I'm sorry, I did misread that.
Whoa, Barwin, 'tis delicious indeed.
Oh,
Didst thou add salt?
I
Or
did.
was that Bradley? I cannot tell.
Well, I did add some salt. That's why I will take your compliment. Thank you, Ravelor.
And these carrots, why, they match no stick I've ever seen. For they are more uniform and lovely.
Thanks.
What call you
Thanks.
this cut, young man?
Match sticks.
Julienne! Julienne!
Why, has two names. How interesting. So, Padric Barwin, didst thou have a successful afternoon?
Ravenlord, I have these for thee. And I give Rav 6 of the potion. Right?
And what be this?
These potions called sorry? Bard's voice. These potions are potions of the Bard's voice. If thou the drinker shall be granted rare talent in performance.
Rav is immediately deeply offended.
What ails thee?
What ails thee, Padric? For thou must have ears that work not properly to think that I would need such aids in mine performance.
Knave! Oh, Ravelor, knave! Not for thee. I give it to thee to distribute to others that have not the talent that thou dost possess. Not all of us can be as can tread boards like thee, nay?
Indeed, I know my way around some wood.
And I wish that I knew wood like thee.
Well, I thank thee for the potions, and I shall distribute them as I see fit.
You're welcome.
Barwin, that spoon thou art using for the stew, can I have it?
Yeah.
Bradley, come along.
All right, then where are we going?
Off to make use of this.
Oh god. Okay, Buckle. I'm very curious. You've gathered a heap of these guards, and as you walk up, I think from your own experience as someone who's worked on a manor grounds guard detail, you can see there's a clear difference between some of the soldiers and then a certain class of the others. Some of these folks are like with practice hands, basically just doing up the light or medium armor, chucking things together, checking the maintenance of their weapons, clicking things in. And there are a handful of folks who are just sort of like they've got one set on backwards, and then like getting someone to help them take it off, and like a few of the younger ones are just like swinging the sword around.
Yep.
And sort of laughing with each other. It's a real dog's breakfast as far as distribution of apparent experience. So tell me how Buckle approaches this.
Buckle will walk sort of through the crowd of them so that they all see him, and then Buckle will turn around and be like, "Attention, guards folk! Thou art all here to serve the Manor of Donvale as guards. I see that there are many people among us who are new to weaponry and arms. I must instruct all of you to drop your weapons immediately in case thou hurtest thyself."
Two things are happening right away. Just the fact that you walk straight through the middle means like utter silence falls across these folks, and they're just once more transfixed by the sort of glory of your personage going through in this armor. Then what happens next is when you say drop your weapons, it basically creates the same effect, but much more pronouncedly than before, because the only people who are actually handling their weapons, had them out of their sheaths, things like that, are the inexperienced troops. So suddenly there's this like moment where all the ones who have been there before and know the deal, who are not that impressed by the fact of a sword, and etc., they're just standing there as they were, but everyone else is like, "Oh, I'm that guy." And there's like these abashed looks looking around, but they're yours right now. They're all paying attention.
Indeed, as thou wouldst noticed, to hold a sword before learning how to wield one is a sign of inexperience. Do not worry, I was once like you, very long time ago, and then even longer due to time travel. You don't need to know that.
There's some titters at that one.
What I found greatly helped me as I first became a guardsman was a friend. I had a friend who started around the same time as me. Her name is Yori. She's off traveling at the moment, and she helped me learn the ways of being a guard much faster than I would have had she not been there for me. Therefore, I will be instituting a buddy system, where for each new guards person, there will be an experienced guards person to be your friend, mentor, older sibling, but like in brackets, older sibling as the title, in order to help you learn how to put on your armor, take your armor off, hold a sword, when to pick up your sword, when to put it away. And yeah, I direct them to like form experienced line and a newbie line, and I just pair them off one by one.
Yeah, you'll notice quickly two things. One, there are more inexperienced people than very experienced people at the moment. So there will be
Okay.
some kind of groups of three situation. But the second thing you notice is that as soon as you give that order, a few of the most experienced seeming immediately come forward. And in fact, Marcus and Therion have come over from the side as well. And they're about to step forward and kind of take the second in command role kind of thing and start moving things around, but then they stop because two or three of these other soldiers immediately receive that as an order to delegate and like start pairing people off, and they're like, you two with her, you two with him, you not yet, you this one you'll need to have alone, gonna be more attention, that one, that sort of thing. So you can see that within the group there are a few who have already sort of naturally dropped into the ready to take orders from you and send it along the line.
Sure. And while they're doing this, I tell them, as an addendum, I would instruct you, if for whatever reason I'm unavailable for questions or advice, please direct any questions to Marcus and Therion and there's four of them. They have served this manor longer than any of you, longer than even I. Therefore, they are the best people to ask about, and they will serve as my four right hands.
The Marcus and Therion immediately sort of put hand over the crest of House Donvale over the center of their armor in what is apparently a customary salute. And as they do that, the most experienced of the lot in there immediately do the same. And then the others sort of like look and they're like, oh, yeah, and then they do the same. And Marcus mutters out of the side of his mouth, we'll work on that. They all sort of are at attention. And then Therion then sort of steps up and says, right then, we'll form up and get a shift schedule, and we'll meet with you, Captain Buckle, to discuss how things are later.
Good. Yes, I await your report.
All right. The guards move off, and then you can tell right away that the less experienced group seem to be a little bit more tentative, but also well behaved. That makes sense. Like looking around on their game, swords in scabbards, looking for cues if hesitantly. And the others, who are sort of the mentor or elder buddies, are moving with much more purpose, and are kind of directing people around, or some people are with Marcus, some with Therion, and they're like moving around the outside of the grounds, pointing things out and things like that. You seem to have accomplished that initial bit of business. Caliban, after a while, you notice a couple of things with your 15 on that investigation check. You are able to sift through the library, which is its own separate room off of the kind of great hall. Let's see. And you're able to sift through that for a while. There are many, many books there, and it takes a good while to sift through them. The main issue being that most of them don't seem to be on the areas of interest to you at this moment. There's a lot of kind of romances and old legends and tales, fairy stories, as well as kind of more histories, which occupies you for a little bit, I would imagine. But a lot of those histories are of various other parts of Eston. There are a number of more local histories, not so much grand genealogies of the family and house and things like that. There are also kind of like various groups of treatises from various clerical sects. But most of the books in that area of the library seem to be for kind of public-facing purposes. They're like for folks who might retire here after dinner and want to just be seen to be reading, or maybe do a bit of reading. However, You would have noticed in your times in that room that the office, the sort of Thane's office, also has some bookshelves on it. And if over the course of that time you make your way in there, it's unoccupied for the most part. Every so often Myra will come flitting in and out looking for things. But you do find something that's relevant to what you were just looking for in the office. There is a very old book, which is in fact almost bound in such a way that it's not so much of a proper book. It's more of an old codex. The binding is in fact too big for what's inside of it. It's as though it's missing good chunks of what it is. But the title of the book is Dragons of Aorn, by someone whose author is listed as G. Harley. And the subtitle is Of Their Origin, Wiles, and the Sundry Tales That Concern Them, offered by one graced with more than natural knowledge of their affairs, not by merit, but by great and dubious fortune. Something of a tradition in such texts to have quite lengthy subtitles. Now I am going to put that document in our Facebook chat, and I might also share it just so at least some aspects of it are available for those who are watching.
Don't tell everyone we have Facebook.
They'll find us.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's all right, so that should be available to you there. Forgive me the pause here. I was not sure anybody would go looking for this. But
You can always trust on Caliban to do a little sticky beak.
is that what we're calling it?
Isn't that an Australianism for like poking your nose in places?
Yeah, sticky beak.
I have not heard that, and I am so glad that I know it now.
Racist.
I out Australian you, Adam. So.
Yeah, wow, you never had a sticky beak.
I'm both glad to have learned it and also disquieted. Okay.
Ooh, pretty.
If so I'm going to switch the view so that folks who are watching can see. That is what the title page looks like. It has this sort of very finely illuminated, painted, it's almost it kind of chimerical almost in its appearance. A very sort of strange dragon-like creature with these blue and gold patterned scales and almost feathery wings and tail. And there is the little authorship note.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it looks chimerical.
Well,
were you guys? We were all going to say that, right?
It is a chimerical.
There it is. It's there for you to continue reading if you like, but you learn a handful of things right off the bat, and that is scroll that this scholar or this person, G. Harley, whoever that is, has described that there are 4 primordial dragons in the history of the world, and that they are Tangar, Sutha, Gamola, and Saroth. Each with their own sort of different names: the flame eternal, the breath of life, the spine of the world, and the rising tide. There's all sorts of assertions about their nature and who and what they are. That they are, some of them, timeless, rumored to perhaps even be immortal. That these 4 are called the first elements, and that each of them is, as the name implies, associated with an element: earth, air, fire, and water.
And heart.
There's yes, no heart dragon listed.
Ours combined.
Or Monty. There's information about their suspected mating habits. And I say suspected because you'll see notes in here throughout that some things are up in the air for sure. But this particular writer asserts that some mate and hatch wormlings and that some do not. Some lay eggs alone without mating. And it is said by the first elements that they are actually born of the chaos of creation, or that they learned procreation of creation itself, and were part of that process, and that they perhaps can be born and reborn. Although there is some dispute about this. There is some information about how hatchlings work and how a dragon's egg is unpredictable, that it hatches at, some would say, moments of great significance, but it's impossible to determine what the qualification is for that. It also gives a little bit of information about how they grow extremely rapidly, and also something about the nature of their magic. Their magic is considered to be deeply primal, ancient, fundamental, linked to the element that is part of their nature, but also embodied in something, an organ called the fundamentum, which is what expresses that horrifying breath that a dragon has, which in fact is not really breath at all. It is something more like a combination of that flowing air with a kind of almost like a spit from a gland inside that no other creature besides dragons have. It is very valued by alchemists, it seems. And it is also said that some of these dragons have a raw magic power themselves, that they're also able to learn other magics if they're long-lived enough. Some of them can change their shapes, and some of them use those powers to interact with mortal kind and other civilizations. You can spend as much time as you like with this text, sort of taking in its nuances. The basics of what you find are covered in that document.
Right.
Yeah, that's the most relevant, I would say, to what your targeted search area was. There is as well in the office a genealogy of the Thanes of Donvale, as well as a record of the various stewards who have acted as their sort of administrators over the years. It's in the style of, again, kind of like one of these illuminated manuscripts where the sort of foremost important information is often preceded by a really gloriously metallic painted letter with a kind of sigil around it, or various different animals and creatures. There are kind of trees drawn out in that way, but also sort of exegeses next to them, some of which are written in verse in a kind of ornate style, some of which are a bit more utilitarian, telling brief tales that sort of give a synopsis of some of the more famous members of the clan's history. You would recognize for sure from your recent lookings through that Adele appears on that list, whose crypt you found down below, but there are numerous others.
Rolling in the date. All right, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got that around if you have a particular thing you want to search for within it. Okay. Later in the evening, the guards have sort of set themselves up with the help of Marcus and Therian into a rotation, and there are also there's a big hubbub as dinner begins to be brought out. The guards, for the most part, are served in the barracks area. There's a kind of mess attached to it, so you can hear some noise coming from that area as they are getting to know each other and stuff like that. Dinner is also served in the sort of main area for folks who work indoors or who are kind of part of your party, as well as the sort of administration of the manor. So will all of you join for dinner, or are you doing your own things?
Is this the dinner, the big dinner? Like, is the play happening tonight?
So the other thing...
No, he's not here.
Well, this is sort of an open question at the moment. So you've told people to come for a play tonight, right? When you're going through.
The play is happening.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, so the dinner is not necessarily for the play, but if people are going to start turning up at the sort of area, the opening area.
Great. Let's do it.
So,
Rav has found a makeshift green room and is rehearsing the players.
Okay, now tell me about the players, because some of the people whom Rav found out there in the various villages that you visited have turned up, and they're interested. A couple of the drunks from the first tavern, for example, are especially keen. Some of them still a little bit drunk, some a bit more drunk than they were. There were some folks who turned up who aren't sure if they're being invited to watch a play or to be in the play. They're still a little bit unsure on that situation. What's your agenda here, Rav? What are you looking for?
What's my agenda? I'm looking to put on the greatest piece of theater that this manor has ever seen.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Rav is in the thick of it. Bunny, bunny, bunny.
Talkie bunny.
How dare you! It's not talkie bunny, it's bunny bunny ticky talkie. Rav like slaps him lightly.
I'm sorry. Bunny bunny. Bunny bunny.
This is garbage. Simply cannot work with this. Keep rehearsing, I will be back. And Rav goes to scout amongst the others at the manor.
Hmm. Are you looking for the other members of the party, or are you looking for folks who are working there?
So Rav checks his little cast list.
Mm-hmm.
I still need a leading role. The person who will play Ed Mago himself, I have not found him yet. I shall needs cast that. Or undoubtedly it will have to be me to fill the role, but cross that spectacular bridge when we get there. The next one I am missing a part of a fearsome ogre beast. I shall go find Botram. Or he shall fill the role nicely.
You want to go find Bertram?
Yes.
Okay. You'll see that he is in the middle of eating a very hurried dinner, sitting alongside Rivers and Veila in the kind of dining room. They seem to have brought things with them from the office or from outside and sat it down. Myra is basically like crisscrossing the room, picking up things as she goes and eating them while she's still giving orders to someone in the kitchen, moving over here. Like she is a whirling dervish of activity. But Bertram is there, and they all look up at you and greet you as you come in. I can't help but think I'm about to be favored with your specific attentions, Ravelor. What is it?
Well, Botram, if thou art as good at acting as thou art perception, then thou hast the part.
I'm afraid I shall need some elaboration, Ravelor. The part of what?
Thou art to play Prud. The ogre who is brutally slain by Edmondo in a most gory and specific manner. But some would say heroically.
You wish me to participate in a performance?
Indeed, but 'tis not performance only for performance sake. Though theater be the highest art form known to man, it is a distraction of sorts. It's meant to put Edmund off guard and put him on notice. And whilst he is most absorbed in thine acting prowess, we shall kill him or apprehend him, whichever happens first.
So there is pin drop silence. At the
I
table.
had forgotten I'm in a room with many people.
Oh my god.
I mean, kill him with a love of the arts. Utterly slay him with the genius of the theater.
Do you want to pull that off as actually what you meant, or do you? Okay, all right. Make a deception check.
I just feel like the more people who know the plan, the more dangerous. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of how secret murders work, yeah.
Okay, what am I doing? Deception?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Oh,
15. Traveler is a good liar.
Practiced.
Everyone sort of looks at each other and then looks up at you. And Veila and Bertram nod, and Veila says, I understand that the theater is a powerful tool for persuasion, and I believe it would be wise for us to create a great spectacle. And it is the fashion in some high circles, I think, for those who are even of great status to appear in masks on stage at performances at court. So, Bertram, I think it will be excellent for you to participate.
Oh, my lady, I fear I hath offended thee and spoken wrong. When thou spakest of a person of great status, I meant not to cast thine own wondrous self in mine play. I speak only of Bertram.
Yes, I know. I'm quite happy for Bertram to be on stage as a character, and for myself to not. Rav, with your passive insight's real high. I think you would notice that those two seem to have taken in stride the absurdity of the thing you said as absurdity rather than as danger. Rivers, on the other hand, whose father it was you were just talking about, is very quiet. He seems to be allowing the conversation to move forward, but is sort of staring at his plate with a very impassive face. So what is it I'm meant to be as this crud?
Why, only thine own self, Bertram, for thou art perfect for the role.
What am I to have lines to memorize and speak? Am I to stand in a certain place?
Indeed. See, thou art a natural that hath intuited already thy tasks. Come with me now to the rehearsal space.
My lady, is this really necessary? We are quite busy. And then Veila says, Bertram, the inventory can wait until morning. The soldiers are seen to. Our new captain has them in whip-smart shape, as I can understand it. As long as they are able to wear their armor if anyone arrives and stand imposingly, that is a start. No buts? Please. Hear Raveler out. Perhaps you can lend some others of your skills as well to it if they should be of use. I do have one question for you, though, Raveler. Do you intend to put on this performance when my uncle arrives here?
Why, in truth, I thought not upon it, but is he a fan of the theater? Would he like to come see it?
I should be very surprised if he were, personally, although he might enjoy bear baiting. But in any case, I am of a mind that would be wise. I suppose there is, of course, always a chance that he comes in with brute force, in which case there shall be little time theater shows. But there is at least the chance that he will be willing to listen, to not be seen to give an insult by leaving immediately. Well, I think it might be wise to prepare as though this is the way things would go.
Then, milady, I shall do so.
Very well. I know not when he is truly to arrive, but I suspect it could be as early as the morn tomorrow. Were I in his position, I would not arrive of an evening, for I would expect to have a day ahead of me to set things in order. Rivers assures me that this is his expectation as well. Don't you, Rivers? And Rivers is just sort of takes a second and looks up. Yes, of course. It would not do to arrive only in time for sleeping. And, well, his holdings are not overly far away. If he were to leave at first light or just before, he could be here before mid-morning. Depending on where he has kept himself, I suppose. Ravlor, Rivers says, I know my father is a difficult man, an ambitious man, a prideful man. I hope you will do me the courtesy of never repeating that you heard me say that. I do hope that we can resolve things with diplomacy rather than violence. Can you assure me that that is your intent, Ravlor?
My intent, Rivers, is to put on a play. And the only violence I intend is that of stage combat.
Good. Thank you for that.
But, my lady, if thou meant for Edmund to enjoy the play, and yet the play is this eve, and yet thou dost predict he shall not be arriving till mid-morn tomorrow, I must say 'tis a scheduling conflict I know not how to resolve.
Yes, Ravlor, I was unaware that you were planning to do this tonight. I understand, however, that there are some not inconsiderable number of nearby folk who have gathered in the front grounds. I have a suggestion.
It could just be a dress rehearsal.
Yes.
Tonight?
Well, my suggestion was that those who are here, they are in need of some sort of occupation, some sort of entertainment. I think it would do well for us to show that we have considered their needs and that they are welcome to appear here to make requests of their Thane, as is customary, to bring report of their doings, to know that this is a place that is here to see to them. So, think of it, if you will, as a dress rehearsal or an opportunity to entertain by some other means, but your audience is there. I should think that you are someone who knows what to do with one.
Indeed, madam. I am.
Well,
but just to
I
be
shall
clear,
leave you.
the place tonight.
You are welcome to use it how you will. You may perform for my uncle if the occasion arises when he comes tomorrow, if he does. Now, that could be that you need to perform your play tonight to be ready, and we will perhaps have a more intimate audience, a smaller staging, if you will, when he arrives. Am I clear?
Like when you debuting a show in a smaller city, and then you take it to Broadway. You know, the way of Broads.
Yes.
Like our version of Amazonia. They're the only women that live there, but they have a thriving theatre scene.
Excellent. We're on the same page, madam, and I bid you adieu to finish your dinner.
Thank you, Ravlor. And be gentle with Bertram.
I wouldn't dream of it.
And then she turns back to whatever she was talking about with Rivers, and Myra seems to come in as if on cue with a sheaf of parchment in her hands. And that's just what I was going to say to you about last quarters with the wheat. And they dive right back into whatever it was they were doing.
Leaving this, Rav feels a need to gather his posse and discuss the plan. and namely, who we can talk about the plan in front of.
Oh my gosh.
So do you look for the rest of the party?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, first
so-
he leaves Spotrum to learn Bunny, and then he goes home.
It's a very
I love
befuddled
that
room full of
that's the
people.
only rehearsal you're doing too.
It's the only rehearsal you've seen. There's been others.
Okay. In that case, I'm presuming that over the course of the next few minutes, Rav will find all of you. Where would you like to gather them? In maybe one of the upstairs rooms or something like that, where your quarters are. Okay, that's where you are.
Yes.
Thought the plan was clear, Avalor.
Indeed. Then repeat it to me, Caliban, so that I can make sure we know the same plan.
And I repeat it in Avalor's voice.
And then I repeat that in Caliban's voice.
Touche.
Right.
I knew it's probably Peas Blossom's
Peas Blossom's voice. It's like a quadruple layer deck of mimicry.
Yeah.
Well, if I wanted to be really mean, I would just squawk at you like a crow. But
Yeah, that's right. So we want to perform this play. I guess the intention was that the play itself would unnerve Edmund. Oh god. Edmund to reveal his hand. So whether that be that our story tells the story of a rightful king that is usurped by subterfuge.
Caliban, please tell not a playwright what to write of.
Okay.
For the muses and I have been in conversation since the very moment I was charged with the faithful duty of playwriting.
Yeah, mayhap we should have just asked you to just consider the purpose of why we were writing the play in the first place before we sent you off with quill in hand.
Well, if thou wants, thou canst read my drafts, but I think it would have more impact to see it in person.
Yeah, Caliban just picks up the draft and goes, "Oh yes, this is exactly what we wanted."
So thou didst enjoy the murder of Edmago.
Yeah, alas, the murder is yet to be writ, though. For mayhap that is where art and life mirror each other at the same time. Mayhap.
Indeed, to the cliffhanger at the moment. Although I do think thou will find that it was especially enjoyable in those bits where I did dance upon the entrails of Crud.
Huh. I guess the thing is, Rivers has asked us not to be violent towards his father.
Indeed, but sorry, Barman, go on.
Oh, I wondered what he suggests then, for surely we have enough proof that has convinced him that his father did murder his cousins.
Indeed, and
rightful Thane.
Did his father show the same mercy to Lyra and the others?
Hey.
Indeed he did not.
Is that not what Barwin just said?
Is there another way out for Edmund,
Or
that it doesn't end in his death?
Or do we close the eyes of River? Not kill River, as in perhaps lead him to another room.
He would know afterwards, surely, if he never spoke to his mother again.
That is when we flee. That is when
I'm not keen.
And we would be giving her a mess, or perhaps greater in some measure than we had found it.
Yes, we
Methinks that the best outcome for us would be to yank on his heartstring to the point where he doth outpour his guilt-riddled heart to the rightful Thane, and therefore it ends up on his knees in front of her.
Are we talking
and
of?
confesses his wrongs.
Are we talking of River or Edley?
Edmund.
Indeed. Caliban, I think thou art right, and if he does not, on the small chance he's not moved by my masterpiece, then mayhaps we force him to his knees and imprison him until we can extract from him a confession.
There are.
Zone of truth. Sorry, Buckle. Did not mean to.
Oh, no, the zone of truth has proved very useful for us thus far.
Aye, and some would say theater is the greatest zone of truth of them all, but...
But one problem I see fit be that Edmund be not here tonight.
No, and that's why I suggest that this is a dress rehearsal that we don't even need to see.
Speak for thyself, Caliban.
And then we can...
And the
Or we could do a fringe show tonight. That,
my issue would be that if we were to play the play tonight, then everyone would ends. And keeping spoilers away from Edmund tomorrow may be an issue. His son would have
we will put an embargo upon the press of this here Vale of Dawn. They will not be able to publish the 3-star reviews that read like a 4.
Could we simply perform Act 1 tonight and the grand finale tomorrow?
Aye. And also, did Veila not say that we would perform for the groundlings today, and then tomorrow we will perform for Eddie in a much more what was the word they said, confined or
I believe the word
manner?
was matinee.
The word was intimate. I can't believe none of you remembered that one.
Yeah.
We'll do that one bard show that I've been talking about tonight. All those who aren't here will be entertained by you, and then tomorrow all will be new for everyone watching.
Hi, a one-bard show. I would love to see that.
Or shall we perform a show without a script? Five such players play the stage and get a suggestion of a title from the audience. Then we will all make the show on the spot.
Ravelor is dumbstruck. Podrick. And then he holds up his script and he just rips it in half. Thou art a genius.
That script was perfect.
Thou art a genius, and he throws it in the air. Why, improvisation is the greatest art form of them all.
Ravelor, we still need that script for tomorrow.
Nay, Podrick, nay, for I tell thee why. Here.
I got actors as good as you at improvisation.
We have potions for this.
What if they...
We have potions for this. And just like your cooking, I'm sure you made them with love. And that's what our show needs.
Nay. Silence, all of you. The director is speaking. We shall do it as a troupe. For if I am honest with thee, the other actors are atrocious. It shall be just us and Botram, who I do wish to murder in pantomime, if not in real life. And it shall be the greatest show they've ever seen.
Ravelor, I have spent all day trying to convince a bunch of peasants that I am their captain. I must refrain from any acts of public whimsy if I am to retain their respect.
Nay, Buckle, for I shall cast thee in the role of the noble captain, and it shall help thee gain their respect.
Ooh, that does sound appealing.
Whatever role I do play, Ravelor, I must insist that you deliver the lines for me so that I may mimic them later on in your perfect pitch.
Caliban, I would be honored.
Wait.
Here is the only 2 words thou shalt need, for thy character is a murderous villain. Rise the blades. Raise the blades. As long as thou knows those 2 words, thou shalt deliver incredible performance. Rise the blades. Come now.
Raise the blades. Raise the blades.
Come now, gentles. Methinks we should strike while the iron is hot. Shall we not go perform it now?
Are we performing the same thing tonight?
Darwin, it is improvisation. We cannot plan it ahead of time.
Improvisation of, but you have given us roles.
Indeed, thou art improvising within a character.
You know the script in your head, Ravelor, that
This is a foolproof plan. It is called The Murder of Edmargo.
If we use them tonight, we'll have none tomorrow. But if not tonight, but tomorrow, then tonight, I will surely die.
Ravelor reaches out a hand to Arwen's face. Stop.
I did think.
Do you hear me? Thou art a star, and thou shalt let thy light shine upon the audience tonight, and thou shalt act as if there is no tomorrow. For all we know, there shall not be.
Can I just be clear? But tonight we're improvising a play called The Murder of Embargo.
Edmargo. Edmargo, but with Edmund.
Yeah, Edmargo. And then tomorrow we're performing your written play of that you just tore up of The Murder of Edmargo.
Worry
So
not.
both the plays are named the same, but one's improvised.
Are there not a group of actors rehearsing thy script downstairs right now?
This money's on your board, it's not for me.
There's too much questioning and not enough birthing art.
Not enough clarity. Oh.
I see now. Thou art not prepared to take a leap for the muses.
Perhaps, may I make one more suggestion? Perhaps we go back to the one bard play.
Fine. I shall do it myself. Ravelor takes out all the vials Padre gave him and he chugs them all.
No!
I feel someone. Is anyone going to try to stop this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna stop.
Right.
Try and stop.
Okay. So here's the deal. Rav, you can make a sleight of hand check. Oh my god.
Wait,
If
but
anyone
what
else
is
is specifically going for it, you can make sleight of hand checks as well. That will
Oh,
Can I
increase.
just check? Well,
Stop
this
them.
won't kill me. It'll just make me super talented, right?
But we need it for tomorrow night.
It'll just drain all of your potions. That's the outcome of this situation.
And it was hours of punching.
If we drink them tomorrow, we can perhaps convince him to just tell us with good skill.
How many times must I tell thee to stop living for tomorrow? There is only tonight. For all we know, Edmund could be downstairs, tapping his foot and waiting for a play this very moment.
How about I just needed to find some time. I was going to do some divination and ask what time specifically he is arriving. Can I do that?
Well, that
Yeah.
sounds like a very
Yeah.
logical proposal. Why did thou not say it sooner?
Because my mind was filled with images of me standing on wooden stage, staring at a sea of faces who moments ago seemed happy and now look at me as if I am a cross between a worm and a werewolf. They are afraid and disgusted by me, and everything I do comes out not in the way I had intended it in my mind, but far, far worse. And then my heart stops beating in my chest, and instead of the blood moving around my arms, it stopped still. And then I turned to stone, and then I cannot be moved off the stage because it's so heavy that I am attached to the ground. And then for generations and generations, I cannot be moved, and the stage will never be performed upon again because there'll be a statue of Barwin there frozen. And you will all forget me, and I will never die because I'll be trapped in the stone, and I'll see it happen.
Raveler hands her one of the vials. Seems thou needs this more than I.
Barwin, seems that must be the play for tonight.
What?
God.
So werewolf combined with a worm, just a wereworm, or is it like a tiny werewolf underground? Ah.
Barwin, thou art magnificent. Thy speech moved me, and dost thou know what moved me most about it?
What?
Was improvised.
We can't hear you, Adam.
Take that inspiration for that one bard show. I'm glad my gesture conveyed the meaning.
Goodness me.
Oh my god,
I
what
was
a
hoping that at that point the curtains opened and then everyone was going.
We were on the stage the whole time.
It's immersive theater.
Yeah.
But Barwood, it would behoove us all to know specifically when Edmund will arrive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. I'm gonna go and find a seedling to use and calm down for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barwin, out on the grounds there, did you say you were looking for a seedling?
Yeah. Or a seed to replant, and as part of the sacrifice. No.
And I'm gonna go tell all the actors they're fired. Raveler goes up.
I thought you said a seedling, and I was gonna go sit down.
Why not tell the actors to join the soldiers?
Thou art to act as soldiers.
Yeah.
As part of the immersive play.
Are we to say bunny ever?
No, never.
Thou art to listen to thy commanding officer, and he
Aye,
says
well-
nay.
Whilst thou art under my command, thou shalt never play bunny.
Well then, let's to our costumes then.
Follow me. And I walk on.
Well, that's getting sorted out. Barwin, you said you're using a seedling as the component appropriate to your god, which makes sense.
It's an insect.
So you can, however you think Barwin would arrange this. The grounds are at your disposal. There's plenty of green space. There's small copses of trees nearby. The grounds itself have a sort of gate around most of it. And yeah, if you can leave the grounds if you like for a more wooded area. What do you think Barwin would do?
I think she would probably leave the grounds for. Yeah. Oh. Did you say that the cops of the trees are inside or outside the walls?
Yeah, there's both. There's sort of the inside area is a bit more well manicured. You know, it's like there's like shrub animals and stuff like that, as well as some kind of like a very aesthetic gardens.
She's going to go outside, I think, and she's going to try and find in the more woody area. She's going to try and find a seed that has taken root, but perhaps isn't in the most ideal spot, isn't getting much sunlight. And she's going to move it to a spot where, presumably, when it is sunlight next, it will be better for it.
Yeah, it is evening now, so I would say that you don't need to roll for that or anything. Like, this is something that you have prepared for. You find that on the edge of the more kind of natural wooded areas outside of the grounds, there is a tiny little sprig of a flower. And looking at it a bit closer, you could see that it has it's hard to tell precisely what it will be, but it has some of the telltale little bitty leaves, withered as they are from their neglect, of something that might be of the family of sort of red and gold and orange kind of blooms, like the marigold, for example, or some other flowers of that family. But it is definitely not going to make it where it is now. It's kind of in the shadow of a great big tree, so that when the sun rises, it's obscured and may get some at like 2 in the afternoon based on where it is, but that's about it, and it's definitely not sufficient. So you can relocate that to a bit outside into where there will be sun. So you are casting a spell. What spell is that precisely?
Divination.
Right. So what does it look like when Barwin casts divination?
So she's going to dig a small hole and replant the seedling, and she's going to take one hand and put it on her what is the word for that, Adam?
Yes.
The pendant, maybe, or the
Pendant. And the other hand, she's just going to place like you know when you plant seedlings and you put one of your fingers on either side to pat them down. She's going to do that with her hand, the other hand, and she's going to like a light is going to shine out from the pendant and like come down her arms and then travel into the earth with the hand that's on the ground. And then she will take a moment, breathe, and then she'll just speak the question aloud.
Okay. Ask your question.
What time will the first of Edmund's party arrive to the manor grounds?
There's a pause. And then you hear a voice that is not a voice. It's a change in wind. It's a rise in temperature, an otherwise cool mid-spring night. But as though it were a voice, you feel words more than hear them. Edmund himself is not here come. A hand of his already hath. To Aelfurt he is thither gone. Beware of this, beware of that. Those words finish, and there is a dim silvery white glow in front of you. And when it subsides, the once withered leaves of this little seedling are robust and verdant. They are ready to burst anew. And you know that when the sun catches them in the morning, they'll be ready.
Barwin is going to get up really gently to make sure she doesn't disturb it, and then she is going to fast walk.
Now walking.
It want to look like she's running, and also she will run. But she's going to try and.
As you come fast walking through the grounds, Barwin, you'll notice that there's some noise coming from the front of the grounds. There's people laughing, little fires, kind of bonfires set. People have erected little almost like tent structures and tables, and they're sitting out and talking and laughing. All of this is going on kind of in the periphery, but you can find the rest of your party in and around where you left them. Is that where you're going?
Is it like, are we alone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Rav had some business to go attend to, but would have come back. You're in one of the chambers upstairs.
And I sent Bradley off with the spoon, so we're okay.
It appears that Edmund is not coming here tomorrow. He is going to Hailford. And one of his hand is already here. And that we should be concerned of both Edmund and of the one of his hand who is already here. Could be Rivers, could be anyone else.
My instinct is to inform Myra of this, but I worry perhaps. What if it is her? I do not know who to trust anymore.
I think it is Botram. Surely.
Just so I'll remember who we asked. those questions too when we cast Zone of Sight. No, that
Everyone except for Myra, Rivers,
we get to ask Myra.
Taylor, and Bertram.
But yes, I remember asking Myra myself.
You did ask Myra, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But Bertram indeed, and Rivers perhaps also.
Rivers is where my mind leads to first, for he is his father's son.
I will inform Myra in that case.
And
Yeah.
Rivers will be the only one that has been in contact with his father, and he is saying that he is coming. That is a lie.
Should we gather them all in the room and cast it again?
Mayhap we play another play, the one of the deceitful son.
Methinks we could improvise something. And then, if we were to cast Zone of Truth right after, we could ask them how they enjoyed it and know, truthfully, if they were lying or not.
I imagine if I were an actor, I would never wish to know truly.
I would, in sooth, I would much rather cast Zone of Compliments only. Lovely.
I could mayhap become invisible, or send Peace Blossom invisible to spy a little more on Rivers. But if he is communicating with his father surreptitiously, we should know it.
Indeed.
As soon as dawn strikes tomorrow, I'll try and divine again. I could do so now, but there is a chance that it will be completely random, the message we received to ask. I think that's a good measure tonight, Calvin, for sure.
And how about you, Avery? Are you going to kill a guy tonight?
Avery has her knife out already.
Yeah.
And is basically like, say the word.
Well,
Say the word.
I do fear for Veila. If your warning is as dire as it sounds, we should really not let her alone with anyone.
I will cast a Death Ward on her tonight, and perhaps one of us should stay with her.
I shall.
I volunteer.
Ravelo, if you would like to accompany me on guarding her.
Oh, guarding, yes.
I'm going to not talk very much now because I'm going to be sending Peace Blossom off to spy.
Very well then, Master. I shall be about your business. Invisibly, Peace Blossom takes off. So then, with a new plan in place and a new suspect zoned in by divine, I would say intervention, but that's a later feature that you might have access to. Help me. It is 5 to 9 now, so I think this is probably a good place for us to take a break. Those of you who are watching, we shall be back anon in 15 minutes, so 10 past 9. We shall continue, so please stretch your legs, get some tea, and we shall return at 10 past 9 for more Shakespeare-inspired D&D. See you soon. We are back. It is 10 past 9. Gentles all, thank you for sticking with us and watching tonight. We noticed we got a new subscriber during the first half. That's exciting. Welcome. Thank you. We very recently hit that coveted 100 plus milestone, so we've got a fancy new custom URL. That's fun. That's great. So now we're / Bardic Inspiration D&D on YouTube, so that's very official.
Who's going to be 106?
Future's in your hands, 106.
Is
Who's
it
going to be
you?
I'll tell you what is happening in a few weeks, and that is the spooky season. We're in it, and to celebrate, Bardic Inspiration is going to be taking a little break from our usual campaigns to run some very witchy one-shots, which you may have noticed in the little panel next to me, where our dear Elizabeth usually occupies. She couldn't play with us tonight and sends her regards. and her Avery's murderous glances. But you got this promo here. As a result, October 24th and 31st, it's actually directly above you, John Mark, if you want to do like that. Yeah.
Witchy one shot.
It's a very witchy one shot. I have been itching to get this witchy business for a very long time, and I'm very excited for it. So more info on that. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok as well, Bardic_inspo, for more info on those things when we make those announcements. And of course, subscribe and hit that bell.
Right, the link's right here.
Am I pointing in the right place?
And if you
can't,
I think I'm
going to
call
do this to
my.
me. I won't do it.
Call my witch just Bet Midler.
Good. Very good. Very
Good. Good. That's what you're in for, y'all. Just so you know, that's precisely
just Bet
what it is.
Midler.
I think
I mean, otherwise, it might be the threat of an entirely improvised show, which we just flirted with crazily before we took our break, which means now it is still the night of the 22nd of Peas Blossom, and things have just thickened. Those things are the plot. It's thickened. We have just found out that Edmund, the much anticipated usurper of House Donvale, is not in fact inbound for House Donvale. Barwin, using divination magic, one of the strongest spells she has cast thus far this campaign, got a direct line to the loving hand, to the sower themselves, and got a very nice specific answer. So now, you Headless Marys are left with a sticky situation. Caliban has just sent Peas Blossom off to do some spying on the young Lord Rivers, whom you have thus far trusted, but you fear may be the right hand that was so gestured to in Barwin's revelation. So Peas Blossom is off to do that. But the others of you were also contemplating things that you wanted to do. We can have that scene and talk about that, or we can cut to Peas Blossom. Headless Marys, it's over to you. What would we like to do?
I think we should cut to Haleford, where we put on a play. Haleford.
Slash cut montage.
I would like to, as soon as that last conversation was finished, I would like to run down, surreptitiously power walk down like Barwin did, and just like
in your strangely quiet gleaming armor.
Yeah. And tell Myra about the spy.
Whoa.
In our midst, you say?
Aye, and this is happening in a quiet place where no one can hear us.
Yeah. You can catch her alone in a rare moment, alone in the office where Veila and Rivers and Bertram don't seem to be in earshot for the moment. If you want to close the door behind you, you can ensure that at least you'll have some warning. Can you be sure? You said this. Barwin told you this. That Barwin.
Barwin. I cannot, in the heat of the moment, think of someone I can trust more than Barwin. And she has found out that Lord Edmund is not coming here, and he has already sent someone on his behalf without telling anyone. I suspect Rivers. If perhaps it is you, then I have deeply failed in my mission. Godspeed with your quest to take over the manor, whatever. But probably Rivers, though.
Oh, Captain. What? I can't believe we went to all that trouble to. You used magic. We vetted the whole staff. I can't believe you even asked me. We didn't think.
Aye. We miss Rivers.
But my Lord Rivers has been so helpful. He's personally vouched for my lady, and if it were not for his help, I'm not sure what we would have done with that. It would have been her word with my hopeful seconding.
I think between yourself and me, it is best to suspect everyone who we did not question under that spell, so namely Rivers and Bertram.
Oh, I suppose I knew not aught of Bertram before my lady introduced him. She seems to trust him, however. Do you trust him?
I have known him only several days, and There was one moment where I thought he had died, and that is sort of my main memory of him. And I keep forgetting that he, in fact, survived that incident. So it's both surprise that he is alive, and also he might be a spy. So I know how you feel.
It's weighty news indeed, Captain Buckle. Weighty intelligence. Who I thought was the good Bertram has been most useful in sorting through our inventory and have already set in motion a number of very interesting improvements and have shown a great eye.
Has Bertram been alone as he was examining the inventory?
Oh, yes, of course. So I expect whenever he did not have servants with him in his employ, he has had time in the armory and in the storage sheds, the outbuildings. He is off with my lady here in the office and with myself, of course.
That is all deeply, deeply suspicious. I will be informing Lady Veila of this after our Oh no, am I not? Am I not doing that?
What do you mean?
Just
I will be informing her of this as well, and keeping guard over her tonight, myself and Ravelor, as she sleeps.
Good. Well, the security of the manor is in your hands, Captain Buckle. I trust your judgment. I agree. I think my lady should not be left alone. And
Indeed.
perhaps not alone with either Lord Rivers or Bertram.
Indeed. Where is she now, pray tell?
She is alone with Lord Rivers.
Okay. Where?
I last did leave them in the library. Methinks they were alone there. Of course, it has access to the dining room. The door is usually open. Perhaps we are not too late.
I sprint to the library.
Okay. What are the rest of you up to? Have you moved off from where you're going?
What's Peas Blossom seeing?
Peas Blossom is gone looking for Rivers. So, Caliban, make a perception check for Peas Blossom. Yeah, stat. Can't be. I think it might be something like 3 for perception. It could be higher though. Quite stealthy.
Yeah, I do have it here. Just bear with me. It's just opening.
Your thing.
Does Buckle's armor make a noise as he runs around the manor?
Are you trying to be stealthy?
No. Just
Oh, what a flirt with danger. A 9. A good time as any to thank our technomancer Matt for creating Rollcast. It lets us roll these slick virtual dice. That's a 9 for Peas Blossom. Okay.
We rolled an 8, an 8, and a 6 today. Those were our rolls.
Okay.
Real slick that day. Real
killing it. Absolutely killing it. Let's see. In order. Buckle, your question was, does your armor make noise? The answer is not nearly as much as it ought to. And it is also not totally silent. It does make some noise. The jointures between the various plates and things are padded with some kind of organic material, maybe like a fleece or leather, and things that seem to be well brushed and oiled so that it doesn't make overt noises, but there are like not quite squeaks, but like rubbing noises of that, and there's occasional clinks,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more of a sight to behold, to watch Buckle going with this huge armor. But to be honest, Buckle and Peas Blossom probably arrive at similar initial conclusions. Peas Blossom, having done his circuit of the windows outside, will turn up invisibly outside of the library windows just around the time, Buckle, when you arrive, and you see Lord Rivers seated at a big cushioned red chair, which is next to a fireplace where a fire is now going merrily. Not very big, it's not a very cold night. And Veila is seated nearby on a large sofa, and she has sort of permitted herself a moment to not quite fully recline, but to lean against the side. As you come hurtling around the side,
I want to slam a door open as I enter.
Okay, you can pointedly make some noise, and they both kind of start and look at you with alarm. Veila kind of turning around and then rising, seeing you in such a fervor. Captain Buckle, whatever is it?
Oh, Lady Veila, I was looking for thee, and it appears I have found thee. Good. And I stand there quietly. Please proceed. Carry on what thou wert doing.
Captain, are you all right?
I'm fine. Bit winded. Is
You're
Myra
sweating.
here?
Did you say is Myra here?
Yeah.
She comes like scuttle like quickly trotting down the hall behind you, but she also seems quite wary. She's like staying a little bit back.
Yeah.
She's like 5-10 steps behind you, maybe sort of like looking just to catch the lay of the land to see what's happening. But she hasn't come to stand with you in the doorway.
Lady Veila, could Myra and I grab you for a short word?
What is this, The Bachelor?
Here's your rose.
Yes, Captain Rivers. Excuse me. We shall speak more of this soon. I promise. And Rivers kind of nods and then turns to look at the fire. Veila leaves. Shall we to the office then, or?
Yes.
Right.
Peas Blossom's following Rivers. Yes, let's go to your office.
All right. Did you say that out loud, or was that Pedro and then Buckle?
It was Pedro and Buckle.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Her response might change if that were the case. Okay. She'll follow you and Myra to the door, and then once you've closed it behind you, looking very confused. Captain, Myra, what's the meaning of this?
We tell her what we know, what we suspect about Rivers and Bertram. No, one of them. Or somebody else entirely. I still somewhat partially, like 1% suspect Lady Myra, but it probably is not her. But if it is, she has already won.
Myra kind of leans in and says, forgive me, but I did stand in Barwin's magic and was compelled to tell the truth, and I hoped that I satisfied. And Veila just sort of like waves her hands like, I trust you. I have trusted Rivers and Bertram as well. Now, Buckle, Captain, if what you imply is true of either or both of them.
I wish Barwin was here.
We are. We are in dreadful difficulty. Captain, I must tell you, I trust Bertram with my life. And I know that there are some strange distaste of some of your party for him since our first encounter.
He died.
I will not pretend to understand it. I will not pretend to understand it. I have indulged it because I believe Bertram not to be really very affected by it, to be honest. But if that distaste, given only a few days, has flowered into accusations of treachery, then there needs must be true evidence before I will turn any sort of wrath upon him.
Yes, I think any wrath should be withheld until we know for certain who to direct it towards. And until such time, we should simply exercise caution. Rivers is being followed by an invisible fairy as we speak.
Why do you just tell everything?
What?
He just says everything.
Okay, so sidebar, Caliban, have you have you introduced? I can't remember if you have you introduced Peas Blossom to Veila. Has that been a thing, a conversation you've had?
Nah.
Or Bertram? Okay.
No, I don't think so.
I can't recall either. My instinct is that you haven't. I just wanted to make
I
sure.
haven't.
Okay. Okay.
Can we all just agree never to let Buckle be the one interrogated? Give her all the secrets.
Last time Buckle was on point, he got you into the dead temple and worse.
Yes.
So I will point
for
that
it.
out.
Go Buckle.
Credit where it's due.
Get him.
Fairness. Yep, that's been tipped. Okay.
God.
She says, "Did you say a fairy?"
Oh, I was hoping I could say that casually and we could accept it. Now has emphasized it as if it was something of import. Okay.
A creature of the Fae. You have had this whole time.
They all, I do not understand the way their magic works. They all know different magics. Barwin knows various divinations. Hadric can commune with plants. Ravelor, the music, magical music. That's all I can think of when I try to picture what Ravelor can do.
So while this is happening, Caliban, you hear in your mind a communication from Peas Blossom.
Right.
And he says, "Master, a strange thing has happened. I had sight of Lord Rivers. He were in the downstairs area, and then he did get up and shuffle off to the hallway. And when I did next go to a window, I could not find him again. I have not seen him. Oh wait, no, that is only Bertram. What should I do, Master?"
I'm very confused.
"Should I follow Bertram? I cannot find Lord Rivers."
So you're telling me you saw Rivers leave a room, and then in the next room you saw Bertram.
Have we ever seen Rivers and Bertram in the same room?
Yes, we
Yes.
Can you follow the man who you thought was Bertram, please?
He.
And where is he heading?
Oh, wait, up there. He is going down the front hallway, heading with all haste to my lady's office. Just then.
How close am I to the office?
All of you, I assumed, were just upstairs.
Yeah.
And so it would be 30 seconds to get down there.
I'm invisible.
So for the rest of you who are up there, Caliban is just sitting there silently, and then gone.
Do we all see Caliban?
You all do not see him. You see that you don't see him.
As we see him disappear.
Right when Caliban disappears, Rav was in a deep conversation with Avery about how he doesn't want her to be jealous of Bradley.
Here.
So Avery, as thou can see, it is no knock against Caliban.
I'm gone. I've rushed.
So glad we don't have to talk about this anymore. And then Avery gets up. Yeah, Caliban's gone. I'm assuming wordlessly.
We don't know where.
Someone's going to try and find Veila. We should probably check the office first.
Okay.
Hadric will follow Barwin.
Buckle. There is a knock on the door. And Veila turns to the door and says, "Is there anything further you should tell me? Should I answer?"
Thou should answer, but I asked to remain in this room at all times.
Spin it out for another 20 seconds.
Well, in fact, you see, we were on a ship, and the ship can transform into... No.
Veila opens the door, and Bertram is right there. And he's saying, Begging your pardon, my lady. My Lord Rivers said you might be here. I was just wondering about the matter of the ships that we discussed before. But I think I'm interrupting. Shall I? And then Veila turns to look at both of you two and says, "You're welcome to enter and discuss whatever you have to discuss. I'm asking that Captain Buckle remain here with me, however."
Tis a new policy I have implemented. Lady Veila is to be guarded at all times by the captain of the guard. Full stop.
I see. Is there some reason for this increased vigilance? Have you seen something?
I want to set a good example to the cadets.
I see.
They're so skinny, my lord. They had never held a sword before in their lives. I wish to fatten them up. Oh wait, that's unrelated to what I'm talking about. I wish to.
Whilst this is happening, I'm going to communicate to Peas Blossom. I should be just about down there by now, I imagine, to the office. I'm going to communicate to Peas Blossom to see if he can go up to the armory to see whether there is where Bertram is. So I'm basically just going to send him all around the manor to see if he can find either Rivers or Bertram, and to let me know as soon as he does.
Great. Make another perception check for Peace Blossom then. He's going to be off doing that.
More than a 10. More than a 10.
Yeah, otherwise, I've got to be honest. Matthew is...
Matthew is
his name and it shall appear.
Genius.
Matthew is
And a lovely man. I just want to give him a good cuddle.
He is a lovely man.
He makes good bread, you know.
He does.
Yeah,
A
honestly.
really excellent, a really great, a vegan croissant that croissant loves,
yes.
that I still think
I
about.
sometimes have dreams about that croissant.
oh good.
Really something.
Damn,
Really
delicious.
something. Oh, now I'm hungry for that. Okay, so
And once that happens, I'm sneaking in.
into the room.
Yeah, if I
Okay.
can. Is
So-
he in the room or is he just at the door?
He's come in to have this conversation. It is a thing that is possible for you to do if you roll a stealth check. That's good. Actually, you can make a stealth check with advantage. No. Make a stealth check with advantage.
How tall are these? Or how big are the doors?
They're quite big.
All right.
Yeah, these
So
are
if
stately.
I was to cast Spider Climb on myself, could I and climb up that way?
Is Spider Climb a concentration spell?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Sometimes there are surprising ones like this, especially because it lasts an hour. So it might not
they're
be.
both concentration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, no. But I'm gonna say you can, if you want to attempt it, you can make a stealth check with advantage because you are invisible. The idea here is not, I mean, it's to avoid making noise, but that's a pretty low barrier for you, I think. It's also just to make sure that you're able to like slide in there without doing anything conspicuous.
Well, yeah, here we go.
You do get to roll with advantage. Yeah.
Hey?
Because
I've got advantage.
You get
okay.
advantage because you're invisible, yes.
Okay. Come on. Do that.
Pretty good anyway at a 16.
Oh, there we go. 28.
Wow, yeah, just like water from a pitcher, you just flow into that room. Just easy done. The door is closed behind you, and it's like you're skidding just right to the side. And you even manage to stop just short of a fancy end table where you might have knocked a vase over had you not been careful.
Cool.
The door closes. And Buckle, as you're saying this, Myra chimes in just at the same time and says, oh yes, I was just commending Captain Buckle for his good example that he's setting. Lots of wet behind the ear recruits. As a result, Buckle, you can roll a deception check with advantage, since that was very much a backloaded half-truth. you're using to cover up your intent.
That is a 11 minus 1 is a 10.
Oh, no, you get a 13 minus 1, which is a 12.
Oh, you said advantage, 12, yep.
Yes. Because Myra was helping.
Yep.
Corroborating your story. Okay, so Bertram, as the door closes behind him, you say these things, Myra chimes in, and he's like, I see. Well, I suppose too much safety can't be ill-advised in these tragic times. Fraught with peril, this place has been, indeed. The designs that I spoke to you of, and as he comes forward to put out a sort of folio that he has in his hands on the desk, Caliban, you hear Peas Blossom's voice in the back of your head. Bertram is in the armory.
Yeah. Right.
What do you do with that information?
I'm going to as Bertram, use Bertram's voice, but try and like throw it. Yeah, if I can. Yeah, I'm gonna say something like what's something Bertram said?
Probably like I suck. Someone should.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
I might say Lady Veila, just Lady Veila in Bertram's voice, and hopefully we'll just see what happens with Bertram.
We will see what happens. Barwin, you said you were planning to come find Veila. You would have seen more or less the door closing and hear some brief bits of, like, you wouldn't be able to make out the words, but you hear the conversation happening inside. What are you doing there? Are you going in?
Yeah, she's gonna open.
Okay.
Just as I say it, yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So, all of this happened at once.
Barwin comes in and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, Barwin.
I'm like Barwin. I'm with Barwin, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
You can be, yeah. So, Caliban, you say that in Bertram's voice. You haven't told me you've moved away from the door. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
I will need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me. Unless you don't care that the door smacks into you.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to say roll for initiative. I was like,
Yeah.
Are we about to kill Bertram?
Oh, what's happening?
well,
Oh my god.
River's true.
Dexterity.
Now I don't know
Okay.
if we made this happen or if Adam's just giving in. Wait.
Oh, you fucker.
14. Gosh, you're very dexy. Okay, you do manage to get out of the way, Caliban, with your heightened senses and quick feet. You get out of the way as you're saying this. So there's the sound of Bertram's voice going, Lady Veila, but with a sort of harried bump at the end.
Yeah.
And that's when you walk in, Barwin and Podrick. And Bertram whirls around, and everyone whirls around, hearing his voice. And everyone's looking confusedly into the air, and their eyes light on you, Barwin. What? How did sound mimic my voice?
No, that's not an ability I possess.
I did not speak, my lady. Did you? What is the meaning of this? I feel I am being japed, and I have, for one, tolerated quite enough of this, I think, from this group as of late.
I'm going to ask Peas Blossom to come back very quickly.
Right away, master.
Yeah.
I think that should stay a moment. Worry not, there will be no more japes.
Well then, what has transpired? Your tone is rather alarming. What
I'm
is
just
happening?
going to say the word treachery.
What does it sound like?
it's an old pirate voice. It's like once I was in like a tavern, and this old sailor realized he was being swindled by someone, and he said treachery right before he stabbed him in the face.
Well, that guttural blast comes out from the air, and Lady Veila looks around very alarmed, and Bertram, as does Myra. Like, everyone's like, what is this?
And then I'm going to scuttle around so I'm not there anymore. Like, I'm going to try and move to another part of the room.
Yeah, you can pretty easily do that. The room it's an ample-sized office, so it's not hard to move around it without bumping into people if you're keeping to the periphery, especially.
Yeah. I'm also just going to have my bow out.
Okay.
This entire time, Rav is just upstairs making out with Bradley.
Makes sense.
Just not here.
That checks out. Now what? Who's here? This nonsense about the place being haunted. If that's what this is meant to be, some kind of extended joke, I'm ready for it to be finished, please. My lady.
Lord Bertram, I would figure thou wert a fan of Japes, considering your role in the play.
No, as well as I do, Captain, that I do not relish the thought of appearing on any stage. I serve at my lady's bidding. What is the meaning?
I'm gonna breathe on the window, and then just write betrayal, and then run away.
Barwin's gonna cast Stone of Truth.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go.
Rav always misses the zone of truth.
Zone of Truth is huge. Like, it's a very large radius. So it'll fill pretty much its whole room easily, as big as it is.
Just checking, it doesn't go through floors, right?
Is it about what?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you asking, Rav, in case you're directly above this room?
That's wisdom saving, is it?
That's more fun.
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought it might be charisma save. Isn't that why Rav always passes it?
It's a save.
Yeah, it might be.
And what's the DC, Barwin?
16.
16. Okay. Is everyone here then, if Rav's directly above?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you're making out with Bradley.
I failed. That was me.
Yeah.
What's the saving throw? What's the
It's charisma.
Charisma. Oh shit.
That's a 14 for Rav. I believe that's a fail, isn't it?
First time ever.
Gentles. It is an event, and that's a 14 for Podrick from a 15. Right.
It's -1.
So did anyone succeed?
Did Rivers? I mean,
Bertram,
Bertram.
who is right in front of you. Barwin, you know that Bertram has succeeded.
Damn it.
What are you doing, Barwin? What is this? You have worked some sort of magic.
I have indeed.
Are you going to explain yourself? Why? Buckle, we can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Yeah.
Lord, what's his name?
Bertram.
My Lord Bertram, why wouldst thou ask Barwin how the spell works? Thou hast seen the spell cast before.
Have I?
Thou
Is
hast.
this the working that you did on the staff when we were leaving?
Okay, fine. Good. Okay, great.
Well then. What is it?
Lady Veila, is there something that you know that Bertram would know? You're quite confident that Lord Rivers would not.
Well, any number of things, I suppose. My Lord Rivers and I were acquainted as children. Have not seen each other in these 10 years. Bertram has been the closest. You have been the closest companion of my life for the last several years.
Suggesting you ask him one of those questions.
Bertram. In the Golden Cave. When first I found it. How many days did I sleep beneath the waves? Bertram listens. My lady. 14. And Veila. That is true.
Well, then we should fetch Lord Rivers. We shall all remain here until he has arrived.
Very well.
I shall do so anon. I trust the rest of you to stand guard over everything occurring here.
All right. Buckle.
Can I make an insight check into Bertram?
Yeah.
Just in terms of like, how did he receive that we're going to retrieve Rivers then? Okay.
17. Bertram's face, as this has developed, has gone from confused to just utterly expressionless.
Mm-hmm.
He is looking around at all of you and watching, and is giving nothing other than what he says when he says it. Very hard to read.
And would that be how Bertram usually speaks to us?
You know of Bertram as a very cool and collected figure, generally speaking. He is not betraying any emotion other than the sort of irritation and inconvenience that seems to come from this, as well as surprise at Barwin.
God, if Rav was here, he would just haul off and punch Bertram.
There's a lot of me that's like wanting to thorn with him.
Now, presumably, when you find Lord Rivers and bring him in here, I sincerely hope that you are going to explain yourselves.
I assure you that I will. Does they wish to say anything before then?
I imagine Peace Blossom will run into Buckle as Buckle's leaving to collect him. I'm just going to communicate with Peace Blossom to let Buckle know that he's in the armory just to save some time.
Okay. So Buckle, you're going to the armory. Buckle, you make your way through the back of the house, and then outside there are a number of outbuildings alongside the estate house itself, one of which is the barracks where you were earlier helping the new soldiers get adjusted. There's also the sort of kitchen and other food production sort of smaller buildings where smoke is continually rising in the bakehouse. And there is another building attached to the barracks, a sort of longer building where the sort of standard issue gear is kept. And you can hear some motion coming from around in there. And as you round the corner, you can see that there's a couple of torches lit, and sitting at the end of the building at a table is Bertram. He has a like a sort of set of glasses on with a special lens flipped down in front of it, and he seems to be very closely analyzing some bolts from crossbow, and looks up as you enter. Captain?
Oh no, Lord Bertram, I would ask you to come with me immediately, please. It is a matter of utmost urgency.
Yes, of course. And he stands up fast. Lord Bertram is quite a promotion, thank you. And he comes trotting forward. What is it?
As we are power walking, I tell him, someone who looks exactly like you and claiming to be you is in Lady Veila's office right now. We suspect it is Rivers.
Oh, good heavens! And then he starts full on sprinting. Along. Yeah, he'll pick up the pace alongside you.
Meanwhile, what's happening with Rav and Bradley?
Rav, at the moment, you can't tell a lie. And neither can Bradley. Neither of you know this.
Great. Can we rewind to the moment Zone of Truth happened?
Yes, we'll flash back. Yeah.
So I feel like they're making out.
Yep, sure.
And things are hot and heavy.
Yep, that's great.
And Raveler says, "Oh, Bradley, why thou art a talented kisser."
Thank you. So are you.
Bradley, thou art a special man. Thou art not, to me, like just any man. Why, indeed, I have not been with a man before. Indeed, I'm most innocent. And then Rav just can't speak anymore. He's like,
Why art thou speechless, Ravelor? Surely the kiss were not that good.
nay, in sooth it was average at best.
What? Well, you are proud. You are. I knew it. I knew it when I saw you. I said, Bradley, don't go with him. He fine city man like that. He'll chew you up and spit you out. He will. Just like the last one. They think you're nothing, Bradley. They'll treat you like the dirt you are. They will. I told myself I wouldn't do it again.
And I thought me a fine country bumpkin indeed. I shall pluck him from the vine, and I shall juice those labor-hardened muscles for all they're worth, and I shall dispose of the rind when I am done. 'Tis what I thought initially. But thou art so much more, Bradley.
What am I?
Handsome and kind. Thou art considerate. Thou art handy with a wooden spoon like no man I've ever met before. Weird. Indeed, thou art the kind of person one could have feelings for. What is happening?
Oh, be not alarmed at it, Ravelor. It most surely be love. That is what be happening. When your heart overflows like a tidal wave and racks all the boats ashore.
Nay, it cannot be such, for I never let such things happen.
Let it happen, Ravelor. Why, I may a country bumpkin be, but let me be thy country bumpkin.
I prefer it without the spoon. Jokes on him.
It was worth it.
Yeah. Those down below probably won't notice, but there's a big old thud on the roof above you. Okay. Buckle and Bertram are sprinting. There's probably a few moments yet in the room before they arrive. My lady, I do not understand what this sudden lack of regard is for me or what I have done to deserve it. What can I do, my lady? I've done naught but my best to keep you alive, when no one else would. Who found you? I know not what else to say.
Say not, stand still. And then Podrick uses Detect Magic.
Oh.
Okay, you're gonna cast it immediately as a spell, I assume, rather than a ritual.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. For that.
No, he's just gonna sit down and be like, "Everyone, stay where you are."
Yeah.
Here's a ritual.
Starts lighting incense.
yeah. I said don't move!
10 minutes!
Podrick,
Yes.
Your spell does reveal some magic on Bertram. Does not reveal, as you might have expected, certain magical items customary to Bertram's field of interest. What it does is gives you one clear signature of illusion magic. It is coming from a belt that Bertram is wearing, and that illusion magic is only applying to Bertram's clothes.
Bertram.
Yes,
Stop.
Podrick.
I cannot lie, and I have reason to not believe thee. If thou cannot lie too, then I ask thee to remove thine clothes.
Podrick, really? Of all the indignities I have been made to suffer in this moment alone, this surely...
I know. I understand what I am asking of thee. If thou dost truly trust us all, if thou dost truly, if you are truly here to protect, then you will do as I wish. Podrick. Oh, sorry. As he's talking, Podrick is readying. Can I ready a spell? Oh no, am I in concentration? Yeah.
Is Detect Magic concentration?
Yeah, it is.
It stays up. You can
once.
drop it if you want, but if you cast another concentration spell, it will drop. If the spell you want to cast is not concentration, you can cast it.
Right. I see. It's not. I'm going to ready Thorn Whip.
Okay. Several things happen very quickly. First, the door bursts open as Buckle and Bertram arrive.
As Buckle enters, and Buckle's like, yes, and he correctly guessed the number of days that Lady Veila slept in, you know.
As the door slams open, Podrick, Bertram dives at you.
I shoot him.
So he is diving at Podrick, and there is a flurry of activity. I need to make a roll.
What?
At the same time, from upstairs, you hear, "Oh!"
Yeah, I want to see us roll for initiative and have Revelor like initiative upstairs.
But we're rolling for initiative in a way.
Yeah. All right. There is a tussle. Caliban. You did have your bow out.
Yeah.
For the purposes of this, because it's not magic, I will say I'll charitably interpret that to have meant you are readying a shot. Was that your is that your intention?
Yeah, yeah.
Then
I
that
had it up. I was doing.
Yeah, you'll be able to expend a reaction to do this.
Okay.
But you would normally get advantage on this shot because of a number of things. You being invisible, having friends around. But something very strange is about to happen as you're firing, and it's going to interfere with your ability to shoot well. You will still get to take the shot.
Okay.
Bertram leaps with incredible speed straight at Podrick, and Podrick... Yeah, okay.
Flips.
You said that you were readying Thorn Whip, which does mean that you were able to expend your reaction to do that. So you're going to be able to do that just like Caliban, I'm gonna have both of you make attack rolls at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yes, because something which I'm about to describe will, I hope, explain why that's the case.
I'm just going to just roll the 2 d20s.
And you can do the adds.
Yeah. All right. That's gonna hit, surely.
So 16 plus 7.
Or
Or sorry,
disadvantage.
12 plus 7 is
19.
what, a 19?
You
No.
Yeah,
Take it back,
buddy.
Matt. Take back my sweet
Look,
cuddles.
I've got to say, this really does make sense. Like, I feel like the environment makes that make
So
very
annoyed.
good sense. Sometimes the dice
So annoyed.
are on the side of
Narrative.
reason every so often. Maybe not when you're a party of 4 level 4 adventurers facing a vampire alone, for just as an arbitrary example. But other times, single blood tier DM. Other times,
Blood tier.
things make sense.
You got checked out, Adam.
Podrick, you fling your thorn whip, but it misses wildly because, in a strange moment, you are tackled by yourself. Bertram, in mid-leap, becomes Podrick. And they are at once a tangle of bodies, just jumbling around the place. Caliban, coming visible by making an attack. You loose your arrow, and even at disadvantage, you got him.
Hey?
You got him. You got to, like, so it was Bertram, the figure of Bertram diving towards Podrick, and as the change is happening, it definitely threw you. Like, this is a weird thing to see mid-shot, but your reflexes are quick, and you're a very resolved creature. And you let loose anyway, just letting your body do the thinking instead of thinking, what the hell? Bertram just became a furbolg mid-leap, and the arrow loose hits true and buries itself inside of Podrick 2's back. Podrick, you are slammed into the wall, and I am going to need you to take a little bit of damage.
Oh, man.
There's also a slamming against the wall from upstairs.
And I'm gonna need you to take a little bit of damage.
I did.
Podrick, take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you smack into the wall, and everyone else, there is just a flurry of furry arms and legs as these two are tangled up together. Sorry.
Am I covered in other Podrick?
Yeah, the two of you are tangled up all in each other at the moment.
Can I do a sentinel attack, which is if a creature within 5 feet of me makes an attack against a target other than me, I can use my reaction to make a melee attack against the attacking creature.
Should I roll damage?
You should. Thank you, Caliban, for reminding me that.
Hey!
So, 12 points of damage, duly noted.
And Barwin should be able to tell the difference because she can tell that one of them can tell the truth and one of them can't, yeah?
Well, there's one of them.
Podrick failed. Podrick failed the save, whereas Bertram succeeded.
So that's an interesting observation. The thing about that is that the side effect of that knowledge is not like a homing beacon.
Right.
So Barwin knows who is able to tell the truth and who isn't, but Barwin knows this creature as Bertram.
Yeah.
And so, as far as she is aware, Bertram is safe.
Can I push Bertram off me?
So the two of you are kind of tangled up, and you can try to disentangle yourself. But first, Buckle, you wanted to make a sentinel attack.
Oh yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Normally, this would be, you can absolutely do it. However, I am still going to give you disadvantage, and if you miss, there is a chance you will hit the wrong Podrick.
You've always wanted this, Buckle. You know you have.
No, I haven't. But I'll do it anyway.
This is payback for some people thorn whipping people they shouldn't.
Oh no!
And there's a 4. 4 plus 5 is a 9, which unfortunately is a miss, which is not a miss. Buckle, roll your damage, please.
Oh no.
This is the good roll.
Oh my god.
As charitable as it could have been. Only 3 points of rapier stabby damage.
I graze a shoulder.
Yeah.
Upstairs, it's about 8 points of rapier.
You cannot lie.
You cannot. Okay, Podrick, you take Buckle's rapier to the shoulder. It hurts. Not good.
I'm sure Avery would have taken a shot too.
You might
Is
be
Avery
right.
with us?
Avery is there, but
He's
Avery is
trying to-
confused.
Okay.
Avery
Doesn't
has
sound
drawn
like
her bow.
Avery.
Avery has drawn her bow. She is looking at the 2 Podricks there, and then is just muttering to herself, looking back and forth like she's about to just do it.
Can I please just like, are my arms free or am I still tussling with Padre 2?
Tell me what you want to do. If you'd like to,
I
you
wanna
can use
take
your
my
action.
clothes off. I know the spell, and I want to take my clothes off.
You can use your action to take your clothes off.
Okay,
Now. That's what you want to be doing with yourself.
I take my clothes. I am wearing drawers, but I take my clothes off.
Okay, one of these Podrigs is just stripping his clothes, which is probably when you will notice that the other Podrig's clothes have not changed.
Okay.
Now,
So Podrick's still wearing the Bertram clothes.
yes.
Yeah.
So, Podrick's move, Podrick's choice, has probably thrown this into relief, even in this quick fix thing.
Does that mean that I lose my armor?
Yes, those are it is your clothes.
Yeah, shit. Oh man. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Now, the second Podrig is looking up, seeing what Podrig is doing. Something else is going to happen real fast.
We're all getting naked.
Now, a lot of things have just transpired really quickly. And most of the things that just happened were reactions. Okay, so now this creature did move. I didn't have you roll initiative because there's a chance that all of this can happen quickly enough to not warrant it, and that would take time. But Barwin, I can tell you're itching to do something.
Yeah.
What is it that Barwin is thinking of doing?
She wants to cast command at the two of them, and command them to grovel.
Okay. What is the
That's hot.
I'm naked.
what is the attribute and the save for that?
Is there wisdom saving throw of 16?
16, did you say?
Yes.
Wisdom save of 16.
You want both of us to grovel?
Because if I can't tell who the two of you are, I'm going to cast it at both of you.
I'm naked.
Oh, did you upcast it so it's at multiple targets? Okay, Podrick, make a wisdom saving throw then.
Okay. Oh, Mad Day. I spoke Mad Day.
Podrick, what's it look like when you grovel?
And then
Yeah, you're reading his target falls prone and ends your turn. So you should do whatever you want.
Barwin, both Podricks in front of you drop to their knees to the ground. One of them blubbering.
And
The other
naked.
one, and mostly naked. The other one silently, just still on the ground, face down.
Quick, let's restrain him.
I restrain
there's a-
him.
There's a flurry of activity around. Even Myra, for a moment, looks like she means to go forward and is like, oh.
Am I getting restraint as well?
I don't know. Are you? Folks who are around.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
That is Buckle and Caliban and Avery. Avery is going to grab whichever one Buckle.
Improv clothes.
I'm gonna rope. I'm gonna like
the
tie
YouTube
him
clip.
up.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Oh, we
This
just
is
got
not
our
rated
first
18 plus.
subscriber.
All right, we committed. Hear it.
Oh my god.
You're gonna be
Come
so
see our
cool.
shows. Come see our shows. Are you 106?
That's literally just happened. Okay. You're gonna get a cryptic message from someone. It's just
All right, well,
realistic.
solidarity. So
Dungeons
Very different.
and Dragons. That's the first thing I think of when I think of D&D. What just transpired. Okay. So they are groveling. Caliban, Buckle, and Avery, with the three of you just diving to. Buckle, you are more than equipped to grab someone who is submitting, and Caliban and Avery both being quick hands. You can make pretty serviceable knots of both of them, I think. So that at the very least, you can get their hands restrained, and if you keep them held for longer, you can do so more thoroughly. But that means that the immediate threat has been subdued.
Once Podrick stops crying, I'm like, how did you know? So you can tell us.
Because it was in his cloth. It was in the
His
belt.
what?
Take
Oh,
his
And I
belt.
cut his belt. I take his belt off him.
Okay.
I make sure the door is closed once we're all inside.
So you remove the belt, and as you do, the clothing, the strangely ill-fitted, off-putting clothing that was there, flickers and then disappears as you remove the belt. And there on the ground, still groveling, is a Podrick.
Okay.
But he is thinking about formally how this would work. It's very strange. There are clothes on this Podrick, but they are very odd looking. There's almost oversized kind of rags. Just like an oversized kind of jerkin top that doesn't go all the way down this elongated torso of Podrick. And there are some pants that are just loosely tied with string, not even kind of formal, and they're very baggy. But Podrick has sort of filled them out, as it were. But those other clothes are gone. And now that I believe, command lasts one turn. Is that right, Barwin?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So as this is happening, this other Podrick has submitted, but is no longer forced to be down on the ground, or forced by the spell. And so looks up, says, "Barwin, thou art making a grave mistake, Barwin.
Is that what I sound like?
Please." And it is Podrick's voice.
Baldwin, thou art making a grave mistake.
I think it's quite obvious now who is truly Podrick. Does they wish to keep up this ruse?
Do what you wish. Creature is silent. Stares at you.
Where Rivers actually is, it's not Rivers.
How, Lady Veila, how did you send word to Rivers?
Well, I had Bertram send ahead to a mutual acquaintance who remembered me as a child, and on the excitement of that report, did go in secret to deliver it in person to Lord Rivers himself.
Hmm.
Or at least That is what I believed. I know not what transpired after the news was passed. I've only seen what I've seen. Bertram, that was how it was handled, was it not? Bertram? And then he says, yes, my lady. I know not how to prove it to you other than to say I truly... I am he. I am me. Yes, my lady, I did as you just described. I found Alan, who was the caretaker's son, and he was most excited by the news. I regret to say, promise all manner of horrible threats upon his person if he did so much as breathe a word of what I had hinted, and broke the seal of that message before any but Lord Rivers himself did it see. But as to what transpired after I sent Alan away, I have no idea. I did not have time to go see to it myself. I should have done so. Could have disguised myself. It's just that I'm not suited for extended play acting. I tried to explain to Ravlor. What is this creature?
This creature... Do we know what this creature is, do you think? Can any of us make a history check as to someone that would make changes to their being?
Let's see. Is anyone here proficient in Arcana?
Yeah.
No, I'm not proficient. I've got +1.
Oh no, I'm not. Sorry.
Caliban, I'll say you can roll due to the nature of your deal. Say
Good in nature.
the nature of your deal. I'll say you can make an Arcana
that's
check.
great.
Yeah, like I said,
Right,
a roll means it's possible. Doesn't mean it was easy.
What are you doing, mate? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there are so many stories of people who can change their forms, or magic that can change appearances and things like. It's hard to say anything specific. You saw this creature change shape, or right in front of you, and you also saw that clearly that belt is casting the spell Disguise Self. That is a spell you have. You can clearly recognize that. But you know that Disguise Self is only appearances, and you know that it can affect the entire appearance or just the clothes or whatever kind of whatever kind of illusion you want.
I might just lean down nice and close and just say, are you going to tell us anything, or am I going to kill you now?
Make an intimidation check, Caliban. I'm assuming you mean that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not here to. What's the term? I'm not here to fuck spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah.
By the way, around this
Padre is.
time, I feel like Rav has put a bathrobe on and might be making his way down.
18. You're going to kill me anyway, aren't you?
In fact, no. We have a lucrative prison system. We have spacious cells. Currently, we do not have anyone imprisoned. It would be good experience for the new ones to learn how to imprison a being such as yourself.
I don't think we want to have amateur soldiers looking after this individual.
Oh,
So I can just finish him now.
Right now, Rav opens the door. He's in a bathrobe. He's got a cigarette hanging out one side.
Is Zone of Truth still on?
How long does Zone of Truth last?
10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah. It might be nearing-ish its end, but all of that happened very quickly, and she cast it not long before, so it's probably still up unless command. I don't think command's concentration is it.
So,
And Zone of Truth might not even be. That's the one that we discovered recently. It was a crazy powerful one that isn't concentration.
Yeah, I'll double check though.
so Caliban, you are going to kill it.
Yeah.
You are going to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, great. I just wanted to know.
Padrick, you can put your clothes back on. You look cold.
Thank you.
Wait,
So, given that he's like, I'm going to execute him if he doesn't talk.
What can I give to you that would save my skin?
wait, he still looks Podrick-like, right?
Yep, he is not speaking in Podrick's voice
concerned
anymore.
about that.
What's that?
I'm not concerned about that.
Well, Rav is. Rav is.
Yeah, Rav,
That's
you've
what-
come in to see two Podricks, one getting dressed and the other one rapier to throat.
Thou shalt not execute Podrick! And he does a Pocahontas on Podrick. That's his
Yeah.
signature.
What does that mean?
Oh, that's Rav's signature move where he throws. You know that scene where Pocahontas like throws herself on John's hair?
Yeah, this is pre-buckle days. Rav has done this before.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
loves
god.
Yeah, so his hair is like splayed out and his neck is where the rapier should be.
So do I get advantage on this thing? What I wanted to know was, is this an auto crit if he's on the ground? Or is that only if he's unconscious?
So auto crits apply to the incapacitated conditions. So for example,
Yeah,
like being paralyzed and things like that. And you, oh no, not you. I guess Avery has a different move that evokes an auto crit depending on the situation, but not in this case. No.
Yeah. Look, does anyone have any information they want from this person that could earn him his life?
I just want to see the real form. Stop playing. Stop this performance and show us who you really are before that will die an honorable death.
Indeed, for if I have learned anything just now, it is that honesty is an aphrodisiac.
But I do have one question that you could answer.
What's that?
Is Rivers alive? Did you kill Rivers?
You're walking blind into a storm. I could help you see it, but I'm not giving it for free.
What do
You
you
got the
want?
best of me. You got the drop of me. I could help you.
Would you help us?
Keeps me alive.
Look,
What say you, friends?
I know not what I have missed, but I would say that would be erring if thou were to kill before thou had a chance to question. Surely information is worth more than blood. And he like tucks his robe over because he realized he was sticking out a little.
The truth literally comes out.
What's you, Lady Veila? We will follow your regard in this.
I mouth the words prison to Veila.
If this creature knows something that will be of value to preserving the life of the true Lord Rivers, or the plans of mine esteemed uncle, then I order that the creature be fully restrained and kept under ample guard. Any guards shall have no discourse with the creature, not a word. Then we shall speak more. But we have much urgent business to attend to.
My lady.
Yes.
Eddie. Is it Edmund?
Yeah. Edmund.
Edmund has gone to Haleford. And he is not intending on coming. We were preparing a play for naught.
As you say that, you can see Bertram and Veila's faces totally change and drop, and then it is just like, move the creature from hence and see them bound. Say nothing else in the creature's presence. Quickly, now, we have much to do.
Lady,
it is as I feared.
Then there's a montage. And now we're in Haleford.
In that montage, Buckle and guards.
Wait, what's John Buck saying?
In the montage, can Patrick ask for the belt?
I've already got it.
Yeah, Galvan's got it.
During the montage, just for good measure, Rav punches Bertram.
You really want
to? Giving the belt, Galvan?
You can have it.
You and Bertram are going to have an interaction if you try that.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to.
Okay, just checking. So, Buckle, as you are literally in control of this situation as captain of the guards, tell me precisely what you intend to do with your prisoner.
I'm carrying him down to the dungeons, but along the way, I'm just like motioning as many guards as I can see to come with me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they are like catching your signal. Some of the more experienced guards going first, and the buddies coming after. But yeah, you've got quite a cadre with you by the time you get to one of the outbuildings where the sort of dungeons are kept. And there's an upper holding cell where you have some of your the former servants who were there.
Forgot about them.
Yeah, they're still in there. It's sort of the it's still a secure holding place, but it's not quite as imposing. You go down the stairs and around. There is a sort of basement level, more proper kind of stone-built, purpose-built dungeon with some heavy reinforced bars and good locks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna tie him up, like inside the cell. I'm sure there's like manacles on the walls and stuff. And I'm also gonna blindfold him.
Okay. So he's manacled to the wall.
Yeah.
Like this, and blindfolded.
And I'm just gonna like step away and instruct Marcus Therion, Grace and Frankie, the four right hands.
It's canon. I haven't told you their names. It's now Grace and Frankie.
D-Bone.
And I'll say, it is imperative that one of you guards this creature at all times, with as many fellow guards accompanying you at once. This creature is a magical creature with powers that we are not aware of. Do not let it see you.
Very well. So, multiple guards in shifts.
Yes.
No speech.
Do not listen to anything it says.
Right. Nothing it says. Very well. We shall await further command.
Mm-hmm.
You can leave them to it. They will set up shift rotations. You have secured your prisoner, who is still in the guise of Padraig, sitting there. It is 10:30. It is as good as time as any for us to go ahead and wrap up for the evening. That was fun.
My word.
It's time for a couple of closing announcements. As I mentioned, after the break, we've got some spooky season treats coming up for you on Bardic Inspiration later this month in the form of some witchy one-shots in place of our normally scheduled programming. So for a little bit of toil and trouble and thunder, lightning, and in rain, please do meet us when we meet again. That is not next week when we have the Magical Cane Band coming back, but the week after. We will have our first witchy one-shot, and then another on Halloween, All Hallows Eve itself. the 31st falls on a Sunday, so very fortuitous. Keep up with that and any other such announcements we have to make by subscribing first to our YouTube channel here at Bardic Inspiration, and find us as well on Twitter and TikTok at Bardic_inspo to get in touch. Thank you to Matt Day, our resident technomancer, for creating Rollcast. Thank you as well to a full-throated thanks from me, a half-hearted thanks from some of our players. But we could not have such a slick interface without that design. It's very cool. We appreciate it. Thanks as well to Eric Matthias, who created all of this free music for streamers. It's great. Go to soundimage.org to find them and more. Thanks also to all of you who join us live each week. We really appreciate it. And if you're joining us on our YouTube channel after the fact, uploads are every Tuesday. So you can see us then and get caught up on both the Magical Cane Band and the Headless Marys antics when thither you go. That, I believe, is all of it. Thank you, players, for mucking in, as always. And we'll close by echoing Master Shakespeare and saying thanks, and more thanks. See you later.